Just the Tips, a Menmoir, Season 1, Episode 1, The Pilot.
I'm Joe, he's Chuck, and this is the first episode of our new podcast called Just the Tips.
A Menmoir.
That's Menmoir.
That's right.
For those of y'all that can't spell or hear.
All of the above.
So on this podcast, we're going to be laying out a couple things from the perspective of a dad.
And a man.
And how to live your life.
Just an overall general way you should live your goddamn life.
And if we are doing this properly, we're going to drop a disclaimer.
Yeah, from the beginning, this is all meant for comedy. This is meant for fun. This ain't meant to offend.
This is a comedy podcast
for you to
categorized
enjoy.
Under comedy.
Yes, that is correct.
So there should be no misunderstanding
of what this is.
And when we say something,
we mean it.
In the funniest way possible.
In the funniest way possible. So don't take offense to what it is. This is all for fun. So when you keep that in mind, be open-minded with what you hear and you will enjoy yourself.
Now, some of the things that we're going to be bringing to you on the podcast, other than our comedic perspective on how to be a father, a husband, and a proper man, would be things like maybe product reviews. We might go over some different types of products or different things.
That's right.
We've talked about doing movie reviews.
We'll definitely be doing some movie reviews because that is something we both enjoy to do when we got time. So we'll definitely be reviewing some of these movies.
It could be music. It could be restaurants.
Yeah.
We're proficient eaters.
That is correct.
You know what I mean? So
Foodies,
we can go out
I think
there.
Is the term.
Yeah, no, just hungry as fuck.
Hungry as shit is pretty accurate.
We put it down.
Yeah, I could take down some steak.
Yeah.
No, some chicken,
course.
some pork. All in the same sitting. All at once.
And then we're just going to talk about some of the things that we encounter in our life about career, about marriage, about, guy code.
Our kids. There's going to be a lot of stuff in here that we're just going to throw out there, topics and ideas that are all relatable back to being a man and a father. But we're going to turn over every stone that we can think of and put it out here for you guys.
Basically. And one of the main takeaways is going to be how to live the happiest possible life that you can have as an individual, even though you are still, in many cases, if not all, attached to someone or a father or married. How do you still get to be and do you?
Exactly. So the hashtag of our great show is going to be do what you want. That's the life motto, the hashtag. Everything is going to revolve around doing what you want, at least from my perspective. So I want you, even though you're living the lives you are and you might have kids and you might be married and you'll have a job, or maybe some of you don't got a job, so you got time to listen to this at 10:30 in the afternoon, right when you're waking up. 10:30 in the morning when you're waking up. But all this is meant to be for you to just soak in, learn something, laugh, and enjoy yourself.
That's right. And so quick bio just on me and really both of us, 30-somethings, got the wife. Got the kids. Got the house. Whips. We have whips.
Couple whips. Minivan is definitely one of them. Not that we're proud of it, but that's
a whole other. That's a whole other episode.
Expect that to
coming.
Also be
coming soon.
So
that's basically who we are. We appreciate y'all tuning in, checking us out, and we're gonna go ahead and take a break with a message from one of our sponsors and catch you on the other side. Today's episode is brought to you by
Sammy's Sandstone Wash and Dry. Bring all your finest sandstones to get personally polished by Sammy himself.
They don't even use water. One thing I wanted to get into real quick is that, I don't know if people know how to listen to this podcast. What is the appropriate way to take in this wisdom?
Right, because it's not like your typical grade A, corny, hey, this is my dad's point of view. This is how. No, this is the exact opposite of that. I feel like it's horrible people giving you advice on what to do with your family, children, in life.
What I want to avoid is the interpretation that the people that we want listening to this are the people that sound like this. Oh, so here's what I believe. Oh, geez.
If you're going to censor the word the B word, like, no, not literally the B word, but saying the word B word and want to censor that, you shouldn't be listening to this podcast. Like, I feel like you should go grab a big bowl of cornflakes and use almond milk to drink it. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to know how long you're going to describe me to my face. That's what I want to know.
Extra pleated, triple pleated, brown pants, where it, you need to be a little more open-minded about what we're doing here. I feel like you'll enjoy it a lot. It's different.
So here's some ways that you should not listen to this, I think.
Right.
Number one, if you are in the car with your children, maybe even your wife, but definitely your children, don't listen to this.
Don't listen to this at all.
No. Because
do you want to traumatize your children? Do you want to traumatize them?
Do you want your children to know that you don't really care for them?
I mean, you want them to know that you don't care about life. Kids, turn this off. If you're listening right now, I think you should
Hold on. Do you hear little Timmy? Is that little Timmy? Turn that shit off.
Turn that goddamn shit off.
I'll whip Timmy's ass.
I mean, sometimes you got to do that. You know what I mean? You pull out the big leather belt and, you just go to town.
Exactly.
Right.
So don't listen to it with your kids, because they're going to know that being a father is the worst thing that ever happened to us. And we don't want them to know that yet.
No, not at all. Like, you want them to think that their dad has some kind of integrity and responsibility and wanted them as children to be in their lives, and not like the
broken
accidents
condom
that tends to happen.
I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Somebody put a pinhole in it and just made sure, I'm tied to you for the rest of my life. Yeah.
You know who I'm looking at when I hear that.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
At.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking.
That's disrespect. So, okay. So not with that. Okay. Who else? You don't want to listen to it at work.
You don't want to listen to it at work because some of the advice we give you and the people we may describe will be very, very similar, if I would like to say 80% range of the people you work with today.
And not just that, it's not safe for work. If you're trying to get a promotion,
right?
If you want people to respect you tomorrow,
trying to get a raise,
if you care what they think about you,
anything at all,
you don't want them to know this about you, that you vibe with this level of tomfoolery.
Right, exactly. They will find you ridiculous, absurd. They might stop respecting you at work because they don't understand what's happening.
Right. But the people who know what's going on will actually respect you more.
Right. Everyone who's in the inn will definitely be like, you're making the appropriate decisions in your life, and now I respect you as a person.
And so you don't want to do that at work because you don't want to jeopardize anything. But at the same time, I feel like it's something that you would put on the work computer and play without headphones. You as a man.
Me, myself?
Shut. I'm talking
about
no,
you. I absolutely would just let it play out loud, turn it up, in the hopes that they try to fire me, because then I'm getting workman's comp, I'm getting a fat check, and then I get to be at home and record more ridiculous stuff like this, but still get paid to do it. So I might still use that angle. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'll turn it up. Maybe it's not loud enough. They can't hear it in the back.
I think that's the problem.
Right.
Because that might be where it needs to be heard.
Right. So another place you definitely don't want to listen to this is near any church organization or any place of business that doesn't belong to you. Just in any public space where you could purchase items, or people talk about religion, or just, unless the place is abandoned or your house or your car, just don't play it out loud. Like,
I think if someone can hear this that really believes in God like that, you know what I mean? Where they got the Bible study one night,
right?
And then they doing the kids' little ministry the other night,
right.
They doing regular church.
I think tithing is like a whole thing for like 4 hours, so they do that too.
So basically, if you know someone who's in with the loud like that,
right,
you don't want them to know this about you.
No, not at all. No. Not at all.
Because this is the work of the devil.
That's what they're gonna say, and and this is not what it is. Like, not at all. Like, this is you just understanding things that you can relate to because they're expressed similarly to you, but it's not like a bad thing. We don't want it to be frowned upon.
It's the things that you think. If you have any respect for yourself, these are the things that you're already thinking.
I mean, at least in the car while you're driving to work, home. I mean, maybe you're eating a meal, but you think of things like this, and this is where your mind goes. You just don't choose to accept it.
When my phone rings and I see my wife's face and name,
right,
I start disrespecting her before I pick up the phone.
Like right before you pick up the phone.
And the disrespect continues into the conversation.
You cock back all the bullets of just, and then you're ready to just let loose.
And I insult her and I bring her down.
Right.
to the level she needs to be at.
Does it work?
I mean, she's still here.
I mean, she's still here 12 years later. Like, no.
And here's the other thing about that, though. This is why I feel bad about her. I know it's a little bit of a segue.
Right.
But she lives with me, and then she goes to work with you. Think about that. The two places she spends all her time at.
Right. Is just inundated with this ridiculousness. Shenanigans. Foolishness. Just constantly a barrage of it rains. It rains this.
And so I almost feel bad for her, but I don't.
I don't feel bad at all. I feel like there's knowledge to be had here, and you have to take that and soak it in and apply it to your life.
And so if we swing back to where we were, those are the places that you should not, and the methods in which you should not enjoy this podcast.
No, not at all.
What about any suggestions on how to properly enjoy the podcast? I have some. I wonder if you have some.
Properly enjoy the podcast. How I would do it. Agree with 96.5% of the foolishness that comes out of our mouth. I feel like you agree it, just accept it. So with open ears, with an open heart, okay, take it in, enjoy it. You know what I mean? Enjoy it. Just soak up the knowledge that you're about to learn.
You know, one of the ways I think that you can enjoy this podcast is elevated.
Elevated, yeah, of course, of course.
If you're elevated,
always,
then you are definitely able to understand.
Right. The mental barriers have come down.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're open to new ideas, new thoughts. Clarity, right?
Clarity.
Enlightenment. I might have to hashtag that, like, for our cast, be like hashtag. What did I say? Clarity. No, that's what you said.
You said enlightenment.
Enlightenment. That's right. I took it to the 5th level.
That's extra. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Roll it back into the discussion of another way to enjoy this. I would say at a strip club. At a strip
club would be the appropriate place.
If you had earbuds in,
right,
and you just let us talk about women in general,
you will experience what we're saying in real time. It's a freaking VR experience. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, like, that's exactly what it would be.
You're watching this booty wiggle like right in your face, and you're kind of into it. And you put the headphone, you're like, damn, they know what they talking about.
We're telling you about your life right now,
right? You might want to sit down. Right.
It's flapping in your face.
Right in your face. And you're going to choose to sit down.
Is that a win-win, though?
Of course, it's a W. You might catch pink eye, so you want to be careful. I just want to put that out there.
You don't want to touch it, and you want to make sure no gaseous, how do you say it?
Gaseousness.
No gaseous explosions.
Right.
Speckle the eyeballs.
No, I mean, if you just get the smallest of debris on your eyelash, you will have pink eye for 2 to 3 weeks. Not from experience, but I've seen it happen. I looked it up on WebMD, and I was really concerned about the side effects.
Right. Because you're looking for a friend.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. No. I mean, in the wrong places, but yes.
Yeah. Oh, of course. All right. So at a strip club.
Always in the wrong places.
At a strip club is acceptable. All right. And you have to know at that moment, we're telling you what you need to know to seal that deal.
You could also listen to this while making sweet love. Like, it's the perfect timing to just like really take something in. You know what I mean? Like, you'll really enjoy this on an emotional level because it touches you while you're touching someone else. It's just the connection is ridiculous.
You know, I never thought about it that way, but they should pause this.
Right.
And go negotiate some booty.
Right. Go negotiate it.
I don't care if you got a Craigslist it.
Something.
I don't care if you got to Tinder it.
I mean, if you got to drive down to the local street where, you know, street walkers, I believe they're called, you can do that.
Yeah. I don't care if you need to go down to church, because you know how some of these
call your ex is what I'm saying. You got somebody who may have been vaguely familiar of who you are and may have the slightest interest in you. I mean, not even like physically, but maybe like you said a funny joke. Just try it out. Put your bid in, see what happens.
I don't really care who it is or how you do it. You pause this, negotiate the booty.
Right.
At this point, when they unpause, they should be in mid-stroke right now.
Already mid-stroke when this podcast comes on.
Mid-stroke, and as you hit play and you hear me saying, get it.
Get it.
Don't stop.
Take it down.
All day.
Balls deep.
Straight up.
Disrespectful.
Nothing but
disrespect. Slap her in the face a little bit is what I'm saying. No, don't do that. Don't
slap her.
Don't slap. But they like to be choked a little bit, so do that. And I mean, don't physically harm her. We don't want to condone that. Don't condone slapping, choking, or any of that stuff. But the tenderness will come out in you when you listen to this podcast.
I feel like they just finished.
Someone might have just finished
You're
right
welcome.
now. You're welcome.
Whoever
exactly.
that was, you know,
You're
it felt
welcome.
right. You know,
You're
it felt
welcome.
right.
It felt absolutely. This, what is it called? A juju explosion is probably one of the best you'll ever have.
Another place other than the strip club to prep you for the random booty call. I think in a movie theater.
In a movie theater?
Yeah. Ultimate disrespect while receiving ultimate respect in your ears.
At the same time.
At the same time. I don't know if the world can handle that.
That's too much.
What would the universe do if you were ultimately disrespecting people while being respected?
I mean, it's like, I don't know, like my head would explode because I'm like mid there but back. I can't teeter on the fence. So I mean, I don't know how to handle that.
I just think that is an excellent way to let people know that you live by the one credo.
Right.
You do what you want.
Do what you want. That's all that life is about. Hashtag do what you want. Hashtag because we said so. Hashtag you agree. Hashtag this is your life.
Hashtag you're welcome.
This episode brought to you by
Clark's New Used Cars.
Brand new, but also used. Half the miles, twice the damage.
Bro. Twice the damage.
They're new and used, bro. So we want to thank everyone for joining us today. Hopefully you got to enjoy yourselves as we expect that you did.
Yeah, and if you want to get in touch with us to let us know how wonderful we are, you could do so. You can email us at menmoirs, MENMOIRS @gmail.com. You can hit us on Twitter at Menmoirs, same thing, MENMOIRS. And we're going to have a YouTube channel coming out soon that we're going to have up for you guys. And we're also going to have our site up and running where we're going to have some of the issues, things, items, pictures, whatever that we discuss, so you can see what it is we're talking about while we talk about it.
And reach out to us if you got any questions, you got some comments, maybe even a topic that you think we should bring up. Send it to us and we'll make sure we touch on that.
Yeah, definitely send us something about what it is that you would like to hear. We would very much like to talk about some of those things in a way that brings respect to it.
And nothing is off the table. Hashtag no filters.
That's going to be it for our first episode. Thank you for tuning in to Just the Tips.
Deuces.